All right, welcome to Northern Perspective, episode 11. This is the third for this calendar year. This is a debrief with context of North Glengarry's March 23rd, 2026 council meeting. There was none on March 9th. So today on Northern Perspective, we sit down with Mayor Jamie MacDonald to unpack this particular meeting. So it includes zoning changes, supporting housing growth, agricultural protection, proposed senior development in Alexandria, the Alexandria Lagoon sidewalk improvement, and the high-speed rail, the ongoing balance between growth and community input. So we also talk about the updates on the 2026 tax rates. So welcome, Jamie.
Thank you.
So, and thanks again for being part of this debrief. We're going to start with, I understand there was no meeting on March 9th, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. There just wasn't enough on the agenda to justify having a meeting and, getting all the staff out for 2 or 3 items that were, basically easy items to put through. So, so we decided to cancel the meeting and made for a bigger, a good solid meeting on Monday.
Okay, so let's start with housing. There was the sort of housing growth and zoning flexibility. So you reviewed zoning amendments supporting surplus dwelling severances, secondary units, and multi-development while protecting some farmland. So can you explain the concept of like a surplus dwelling severance? And is this on farmland? Or?
Yeah, so this is on agricultural land. So typically now, there's not a lot of farmers that are, in the past, you used to be able to, make a living and farm 100 acres and, have your family in the farm. So that's changed a lot, obviously, in now. So what we're looking at is people are buying up farmland and then they sever the house from it. So the house and the lane, and they tried to keep it as small as possible to protect as much agricultural land as they can. So we're seeing a lot of those now. And then the second dwelling unit aspect is something that the Ontario government is allowing more and more. So they want to see.
Is this for, like, for example, for parents to stay on the land?
Parents, or it could be a rental. It could be, your kids, whatever. Yeah, exactly. It's just to build a secondary home on the same plot of land, which wasn't previously allowed.
And the government is now allowing this? Or?
Yeah, correct. I mean, they want to build houses, so let's get it going. And sorry, my phone's ringing over there.
It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, but I see. I'm going to see. I see some issues in the future when they go to sever that land or to sell that land. You have to sell it with the 2 houses.
Oh, really?
You're not allowed to. There will be no severances for it. So it's a big risk for somebody building 2 homes and then having to sell. That's a very specific market to sell 2 homes.
Well, that will be sort of also make it, as you say, difficult to sell the lands themselves because they can't be severed now.
That's right. So, but it's they're trying to build more homes, and this is one of the ways to do it.
Okay. So the senior housing development in Alexandria, this I guess is the same one we talked about before. This is the 27-unit seniors apartments. So there was questions raised around parking, setback, and the site layout. So this is the same seniors unit that we were talking about before, right?
Yes, correct. So when we talked about it last time, we had a public meeting of planning. That was where the public get to speak and raise their concerns. And we did have people come out for that. I will say that we did pass it this past meeting with no changes. We have spoken to the proponent, and I think there'll be some changes in maybe where the garbage goes, and so that would free up some more parking within the development. But the reality of is, while it looked like we were making lots of changes, there's a new zoning rules coming into this year with the Government of Ontario that would allow almost all those things to happen. Okay. So basically there were only 2 minor variances that would have been needed, if this is 3 months down the road. Okay. So, I think it's something that's good for the town. I think it's something that North Glengarry needs is, it's geared to 55 plus. So, perhaps people move out of their large homes and into one of these units, and then we can sell those homes, bring in families. So it's I think it's going to be very good for the.
And you don't see sort of more concerns or issues that are going to come up from this. It's pretty much.
We all know Ron Theore's built many buildings in Alexandria.
Okay.
They're all well kept. We've had I've never heard of an issue that we've had at any of them. So I would say that he has a very good track record, and there could be problems with anything, but we'll deal with them as they come. And we have a proponent that we think.
Can you remind people, where are these going to be?
These are going to be just up from the curling club and across from the church on the hill.
Okay.
So used to be the Alexandria
Harmony
High School,
before,
but then
yeah.
the Harmony Glen.
And then the church, okay.
Yeah, and then the Fountain Church, I believe, had it.
Okay. So you there's a recreation partnership with GDHS for tennis and pickleball courts. So council approved a partnership with GD to resurface the courts with public access. So what's involved here, and what's the cost sharing structure look like?
So it looks like, from what we've been told, so these tennis courts were originally built with a Wintario grant, and they were always it was always a partnership with the municipality. So
nothing new.
Nothing really new, but they're in disrepair.
Yeah.
So they're asking for $10,000, which is a small amount for that kind of partnership. And we'll have the access that we had previously, when the courts were in great shape. So I think it's a really good partnership on the ongoing. If there's problems with, say, posts need to be fixed or things, so that would be a cost share with the Upper Canada District School Board.
And of course, the public will have access to these courts as well.
Absolutely, and at this point, we're looking at. On the books for work that needs to be done are the courts at the park. They require a complete redo. Nothing's been done to those in 50 years probably.
Yeah.
And that's a $250,000 to $275,000 project. So we're really looking to get to this partnership and get people up there, and then we can do the work at the park.
So the Alexandria Lagoon expansion, the contract was finally awarded.
Yep.
So this expansion, this is a key infrastructure project. Something I believe was initiated way back by former Mayor J.P. Touchette. We discussed that. So who got the tender, and what are the timelines involved for this?
So as you said, it has been a project that has been around for many years, and just as an aside, my father was on that council, and my uncle JP was also the mayor for the better part of 3 decades.
So you're going to finish what was.
So I made a call to my mom after we got the money, and I let her know that I very much was the best politician ever in the family. And she proceeded to hang up on me. So that was typical.
That was typical.
Yeah. So we just gave the tender out to Thomas Fuller Construction. It's not a firm that we've worked with before, but they have a very good track record. The tenders came in way below, and this is huge news for us. As you know, we're currently in the environmental assessment phase for Maxville lagoons, because at this point right now, even in Maxville, they can't build a solitary unit right now. Like we've approved pretty much everything we can. So this will allow us to.
So they're in the same position that Alexandria was a while back.
Yes. So we think with the current envelope of money that we've been given by the province, we'll be able to do both jobs.
Okay. Oh wow.
That would be like a huge deal for the township of North Glengarry, and the partner. I've had a conversation with MPP Sarazan. He was ecstatic that maybe we could get these 2 projects done. He would bring it to the province, and it looks like they're a willing partner. We are meeting. We have Good Roads conference this coming weekend, so we will be meeting with the Ministry of Infrastructure while we're up there. So we hope to get the go-ahead to finish this, both.
Okay.
I've got a premonition. Things ain't gonna
So there's some in the meeting there was some sidewalk and road allowance sort of infrastructure investment. So council approved some sidewalk reconstructions and bylaws to formalize these road allowances. So are there any priority areas that residents should expect improvements, and will Main Street be looked after, or is this going to into another?
I think they're. I think we're looking at the other side of the road, like that we did last year in Alexandria, right at the end of Main Street. We're going to pave right down to where the Main Street project that we're hoping to get funding through the counties.
Okay.
We're hoping to be starting this next year, but it depends on funding for sure. It's so we're going to be doing those sidewalks. There are other small sections of sidewalk that will be getting done in town mostly. Because we've done almost all the sidewalks in Maxwell. I would like to have staff check in our hamlets just to see. There are some. I know there's some trouble spots there, so we need to continue. We just need to continue upgrading our sidewalks. So the fact that we've been sticking to a program for the last 4 years is we're seeing some results from that.
Okay. So there's the 2026 tax rate was out. Council adopted a 4.75 municipal tax increase, along with updates to user fees and charges. So this, of course, is based on the 2016 impact assessment.
Right.
And I checked on their website. There's nothing
Happening,
new,
and there's nothing happening. So
nothing happening. So what were the drivers behind this tax sort of decision this year?
There was, and we obviously we passed the budget in January, so there were definitely there were staffing costs. We had 2 new contracts that we just did with two of our 3 unions, and also just the cost of living with everything. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it is. There is a charge that there is something in there that we're funding, and it's escaping me right now. That is just a one-time fund. So that accounted for about 1.25%. So yeah, this 4.75 sounds
that
like
sort of along the lines of what most municipalities are.
we had the lowest in all of SDNG.
Okay.
There were double-digit figures in some other municipalities. Everybody's having the same difficulties, and insurance costs have gone up, especially with the cybercrime and those kinds of things. So it's making it very difficult year to year to budget, and we're feeling. While we felt good at 4.75, it's not really a good feeling, because we know that residents, wages aren't going up by 4.75%. So we need to keep that in mind and try and keep our rates as low as we can. So.
Okay. And finally on my agenda, the high-speed rail, the Alto, and there was some regional advocacy for this. So council support and opposition to the Alto high-speed rail project through the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus. So what are the biggest concerns with the Alto project from a rural perspective?
Well,
from this area perspective.
Well, I appreciate what we got from the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus. It was a very good resolution, and it's not that we're against the project; it's that we're against the project with the way it's being handled right now. We don't want. First off, this is going to go through our area. We worry about, is it going to split up farms? Is it where is it? Where exactly is it going? And we don't want that to happen. We don't want it going. We don't want pitting neighbors against neighbors as we go through the middle of a field. That do we go here? Do we go there? I really think they should have come with a better concept plan, and I think that concept plan should have been up the 417 corridor and the 401 corridors. That would have made more sense than going through rural lands. And in the short term, there'll be some jobs for the rural municipalities, but in essence, in the long term, we really don't get a benefit from it. If you look at the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus municipalities take up 50,000 square kilometers, and there's one stop in that whole area. So it just doesn't make sense for us. And
so would that put our Via Rail service in jeopardy?
And that's 100% what we're afraid of, is all of a sudden, that Alto told us at several meetings, no, we were going to work in partnership with Via Rail, but how is that possible? The greater amount of people jump on in the big cities, and we pick up along the way. The amount of people that they would pick up along the way is not enough to justify that service. So we're worried about losing our Via Rail service here and in Cornwall. I think there's some. It would be just awful for a city the size of Cornwall to lose their service and not have stop, because Alto's not stopping there. That's
and the government wants technically less cars on the road, so it would be sort of a disservice to do this and lose regional Via Rail service.
No, and I think with Porter and Air Canada offering Rouge offering these routes to Toronto, if you book in advance, you can get a pretty good deal to fly. That's relatively close to what you're paying to get on the train.
So a quick question: what does the Ontario the Wardens Caucus have to do with this? You supported a resolution.
So
how does this work?
So the Wardens Caucus is made up of all the municipalities within as far as Belleville type of thing, not the city, and it's all rural municipalities, of which SD&G has a member that goes. So as warden, I sit on the Eastern Ontario's Warden Caucus when I was there, and right now it's Frank Laundrie that's sitting there. So it's just a bigger voice at Queen's Park to let them know that we're a big area, and so we advocate on behalf of all the smaller municipalities.
And they were actually at this particular time against the project per se.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it. We did it under 15 minutes,
there
which
we
is
go.
good.
That's good. That's
awesome.
awesome.
It was one meeting too. So,
Yeah.
So what should residents? But seemingly a lot on at this particular meeting. So what should resident watch for as these projects move forward? What's the main? Where should be? Well, I don't want to say the main concerns or issues that are coming up at council.
So we're definitely focused on getting the lagoon project in Alexandria. We've already started it, so we're well on our way there.
And you'll be the mayor to finish it.
Well, I hope so. And then Maxville, obviously, we want to make a decision on the environmental assessment project, so we can get that moving. We're really going to be advocating for Main Street. I took drive down Main Street every day, and I just drove down it today, and it's particularly bad today. And for one of definitely the busiest Main Street in all of SD&G, it needs to be looked after.
It's not Montreal, but it does have, it was a tough winter for
sure.
roads, and Main Street did particularly.
Yeah, so we see those projects as what we're trying to advance. We obviously have a municipal election coming up, so at any time we could become a lame duck council, depending on who runs and who doesn't run, and if there's competitors against each one. I would encourage people to come forth, learn about the process if they would like to run. We will be having an information session coming up, I believe, the township, just to let people know what they need to do.
Yeah, can you explain what a lame duck council is?
So if you have more than 4 members not running, or if you have, say we have 5 members running and they're all being contested, then you are a lame duck council. You can't make decisions to advance the, because somebody could take advantage of that position during an election, and all of a sudden, put out all kinds of handouts or things like that. So it's just to protect from municipalities doing that.
Cool. Well, thank you very much. So thank you very much for tuning in. We want to thank all of our viewers for watching, and we want to welcome our newest patron our sponsor to Glengarry Clothing Company for supporting this segment. I know that Jamie bought some really cool. They actually make some really have nice designs of
very much so.
things. So, and we want to remind the public that putting this together is a job. and it does take time, equipment, and heart. And we're looking for volunteers or folks to come in and help with the studio gear and editing, and we can teach them. It's a really great experience for people who want to come and do it. And even if folks who are have retired, sometimes there's things that you might think you can't do, but some of the stuff is it's not that difficult, it's learnable, and you really get a good sense of
absolutely
of accomplishment. So if you feel you want to become a patron or a sponsor, if your business wants to do that, please reach out to us. We can discuss. There are many options of how you can do that, help support things like this here. So watch for our posts on social media. There's a lot planned for content, especially as the snow is all going, and as we're if we can finally get that final snow, clean up the gravel and the salt on the roads, and then sort of see what spring will be. We'll put a bit more of a smile on people's faces in Glengarry. So thank you, Jamie, for being with us.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. So thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and as well on the website, and we will see you next month.
Thank you, for sure. Cheers.